draw your sword, knock your arrows, and ready your spellbook. It's time for another episode of the Gamesmen. What role will you play?
Evening, guys, gals, and guildies, and welcome to this special spoiler show of The Wolf Among Us.
Spoiler?
In case you haven't beaten The Wolf Among Us, or if you've beaten the first three and want to go through those episodes and then finish the rest of the podcast after, do as you want. But this is very spoiler-ish. You're going to hear every little bit.
Yep.
And... if you don't want to know what happened, you probably shouldn't be listening right now.
We are spoiling the hell out of this because we want to talk about it. And the only way to do that is on a show like this. So
yes. And as you heard, my special co-host for this is going to be Mr. Hardlydan.
Mom always said I was special.
And it's going to be crazy and awesome and fun. And like the way me and Dan have done this, actually I think it was from episode 2 because I didn't have it till like then, or maybe it was episode 3. But we started doing this thing where we play like right next to each other. It's kind of funny because, you know, we're seeing the same things at basically almost exactly the same time, and we're just, you know, like, oh shit. And then like at the end of it we have a talk like, oh, what'd you do? And then, you know, we've had a lot of fun to that.
We've also been doing that with The Walking Dead Season 2, and there's bound to be a spoiler show on that as well.
Yep. These episodic games are very good for this.
Yeah.
And we tried to do it with other like we tried to do it with The Witcher and stuff, and it's not easy to stay together with that.
No, not at all. So many different side missions, and
so you're gonna see a lot of Telltale games spoiled. We should do Back to the Future. But I guess we should get into this. And, we're going to start out with episode 1, which was called Faith. And basically it starts off with Bigby getting a call from the first character you meet, which is Mr. Toad. And he kind of goes in, and Mr. Toad is a very eccentric... what would I say, like, openly vocal character.
Yeah, he seems like a bit of a wheeler, a bit of a dealer, for the English listeners, almost a bit like Del Boy. You know, he's a kind of cockney, wide boy Toad that's always got his fingers in some pies. Oh, I'll sort it out for you, mate. That kind of character.
And the very annoyed, not very, he's honest, but he's not like...
Yeah, he's you know, a little bit shy with the truth at times. He only lets you know what he thinks you need to know.
And he's not afraid to call you an asshole.
Yeah, he says it as he sees it. Yep. And he's actually one of my favourite characters in the game, I think.
Yes, he's a very good character. But one of the things in the game is everybody has... fables.
Well, perhaps we should start with a little bit of backstory.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going to start going.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. You can take it if you want to kind of give the background behind like fables and stuff like that.
Basically, what it is, some crap's happened in kind of fairyland, if you like, and they've all had to escape, and they've moved to New York. And they're trying to live as normal lives as possible in New York. But a lot of these characters, like Mr. Toad, are like animals or look, you know, odd. And so they have to use these things called glamours to keep them looking human. And so they're kind of flying under the radar. So the Mundies, normal people like you and I, don't notice them. And as a result, you know, a lot of characters, they've left everything back where they used to live. They don't have anything now, and a lot of them are quite poor, and it's quite a destitute area, especially where Toad lives in that apartment block. You know, there's wallpaper peeling off the wall. There's graffiti. It's the kind of place you imagine murders to happen every Friday night.
Or explicit activities going on.
Yeah.
Drug deals, that kind of stuff. The projects. Yeah. But yeah, like they all live in Fabletown, is what they call this section in New York.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the Big B Wolf is the sheriff of said town, with characters we'll talk about a little later, like Ichabod Crane is the deputy mayor, and then what's Snow White? She's like the secretary?
His
Assistant? Yeah. And they're kind of the law. I think they're really the only three that you really know about. There is Bluebeard and everything. What is he exactly? He's just like an asshole.
Yeah, he's just like some rich, almost like a hood, but stays on the right side of the law. He's an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into more of all these characters throughout this.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be crazy. And this was definitely a very R-rated game. There's swearing up and down. And there's a lot of violence and everything, and man, some of these characters are amazing. But like I said, it starts off with you going to this apartment building. You got a call from Mr. Toad about a disturbance in the apartment building, and I can't remember if he says exactly who it is, but you find out it's going to be the Woodsman. And if you know anything about Little Red Riding Hood and that story, these two kind of butt heads.
There's a brilliant bit coming up that I just loved, but we'll get to that.
But it starts off, you meet Mr. Toad, and you kind of have a talk about, Mr. Toad should be glamored up. But, like, he's in the apartment building, and he doesn't have to be exactly, but he doesn't want to get a glamour because they're too expensive for him to get and all this stuff. So, he kind of mouths off to you and shit, and one of the first choices you get to make is, like, and we'll be, like, reading off choices because they're in this article we're using, which is on GamePressure.com, which I'll probably put it in the show notes if people want to follow along. But the first choices are, I don't make the rules, get it fixed, not my problem, and a lot of the choices are going to be, basically silence, ... So, and there are a few choices that, like, the characters will remember saying that, or, they notice that you didn't say anything at all. And I guess what we're going to kind of do through this is, we're going to kind of say what choices we made through it and see what differences we had through it. And maybe you can, let us know, oh, man, I had this choice and this happened.
And we're not going to go through every single, all of the dialogue, just the bits that really make a difference. Because there's a bit when you're talking with Toad and he says, "Oh, I promise I'll get a glamour," and then you can reply like, "I'm looking at a 3-foot toad," or like, "Enough excuses, Toad, get it sorted," and stuff like that. Those ones don't have a huge amount of impact, so we're just going to concentrate on the key bits.
Those are basically going to be the ones we're not going to talk about. Like, it's basically just getting into the conversation, and the dialogue changes a little bit, but we're not going to go through like all the dialogue people talk about, because that we'd be here for like the next day just talking about it.
Yeah, and you might as well just play the game again.
Yeah, you can play it through it by the time we'd finish. And I'll just say it right now: go and play it again. Oh, yeah. Especially if you're listening to this and you haven't played it, play it, and then listen, because it's an amazing game. It's really, really good. Anyway, so what did you choose in that part, Dan?
I honestly can't remember. I think I went with I don't make the rules. So Mr. Toad didn't remember that or notice my silence. I was just like passing the buck because I didn't want to seem like an asshole.
Yeah, I think that's what I chose, but I made it not my problem because I think I started off being kind of a tougher guy, and then a little bit in, I was like, oh man, I should probably be nicer. Like, I have that guilt trip kind of thing where I'm like, man, I don't want to feel like too much of an asshole. I do that with The Walking Dead and stuff like that, where I these kind of games where you get to make good or bad choices. Like I normally stray to the good side than the bad. But yeah, like I think I did. I don't make the rules.
Although it must be said, a lot of these choices there's quite often no good or bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, a lot of the choices, it depends on when you do them, as well as what you choose. So there are bits where if you try to do one bit first and then the other bit, then that'll have an effect on the game. Which, if you're listening to this, you probably know anyway, because you've hopefully played it. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter what happens with Toad. You end up having to go upstairs where the noises have come from. And when you get up there, there's several different things you can do. You need to pick up the matchbook. You need that later for to talk with someone. And I picked up the phone. There's no need to pick up the phone. And then you come to the door and you can knock on it or kick it in. Do whatever you want. But in there, you meet the woodsman, who's hitting a woman who seems to be a prostitute. And it doesn't really matter what happens with the conversation. You end up getting dazed, and then you're forced to fight him. Which was kind of cool. There's some little choices there. You've got this is your last warning. You're drunk, which he remembers. You threaten him, which he remembers. And then silence, which he doesn't remember. Which brings us into normally my bugbear of video games. But for some reason, in The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us, the QuickTime events actually are really fun, and I'm quite happy with them.
And I must say, in like The Wolf Among Us, there is so much more, QuickTime events and stuff like that, where you gotta kind of point and click to grab something or hit somebody or whatever. And I don't know, I just really like how it works.
Yeah, they don't feel like standard QuickTime events where you've just got to hit E or whatever. There's a bit of moving the mouse and clicking and also hitting E or whatever. But I think because they're so fast-paced, it actually feels more like combat.
And one of the cool things I like in some of these combat kind of situations is you actually have like a choice of where you want to throw someone. Like in this, I think you can like throw them over the couch or throw them into a heater or something like that, and
or into the sink, and
and I don't know, it's really cool. It's like, man, where do I want to throw him? Where do I want to hit him into? What will do the most damage? Stuff like that, and it is really great. There's been a lot of Q mashing in this game.
yes, it has.
Because there's like basically, you're, I guess it kind of feels like you're powering up, kind of, so you can push someone away, or so they don't get to you or something like that. Like if you're doing a struggle kind of thing, and sometimes throughout the game it's gotten pretty intense.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just like, oh god, no. But yeah, like after the whole thing happens, you kind of throw him through, or no, you don't throw him through. You like beat the crap out of him, basically, and then he's like on the ground, and then you talk to the woman who you find out is Faith, who's another Fable, and you kind of ask her like what happened or why you're here, why she's there, and all this kind of stuff, and after you kind of talk to her for a little bit. The woodsman isn't done with you, and he
no.
He crashes you through a window, and you land on Mr. Toad's car.
Yeah. So now he can no longer earn money as a taxi driver, and he's going to find it even harder to get his glamours. Yay!
Screw him over more.
Yeah.
And then there's like another little section with the woodsman and everything, and
I just love the bit when you land on the car and Toad's like, make yourself comfortable. And you can you can reply like, sorry about the car, get off the street, or how's your insurance? So yeah, there's some humorous bits.
I think I did how's your insurance.
I'm not sure what I did, but yeah. You get attacked again by the woodsman. There's another QTE, and you grab him by the throat and keep pressing the button, and eventually the fight stops because Faith digs the woodman's axe into his head, which would normally kill someone, but these people being fables, he seems quite alright by it, really, doesn't he?
In the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Later on, you see a big bandage on his head.
And, in the next conversation, you have another chat with Faith, and you can give her the matchbook if you want,
and that
as long as you picked it up.
Yeah, and that takes away your choice later on also, with another conversation if you do that.
Which I think I did, so I don't remember.
I think I just lit a cigarette for
her. You don't learn anything. Yeah, no, I did, yeah. You don't really learn anything from her, but you can improve your relationship with her by telling her that she's beautiful.
Giving her a 20 and, taking her in the back of the car that you just dropped on.
Well, actually, it does come up then with a fairly important decision in the game, and that's whether or not you give her some money. Your options here are give her some money or say, wish I could help.
I think I gave her money.
Yeah, I did as well. But if you give her the money, you can't use a cigarette vending machine later on in the game.
No!
I don't know how much. Really, yeah. Yeah, but the upshot's the same. Bigby and Faith go in their own directions. And it's on to the next bit. The Woodlands. Which isn't actually an area of woodlands. It's the apartment building where most of the... Well, not most of the fables, but a lot of the fables live.
Yeah, where the more, like...
Wealthy.
Wealthy. Or want to be more wealthy people live. And you go into... And there you can read the plaque which says the Woodlands on it, apartment building, whatever. And after you walk through, you see a woman hiding in a bush. And then you find out that this character is actually Beauty from Beauty and the Beast. And I really love, all the characters you get to see. You grew up knowing these characters, and to have them in just this crazy situation in the real world is awesome.
And they're from so many different children's stories and fables. You've got we've already said Ichabod Crane, and obviously there's Beauty and the Beast. And, it's great the way they all interact. And
and a little bit I want to talk about the book you get to see because that's really cool. But you see Beauty, and then you kind of she asked you to not tell anyone that you saw her and stuff like that, and then you can either, say, I promise, no, I can't do that, I'm staying out of it, or silence again. And then, she either appreciates that you're helping her, she isn't happy that you refused not to lie. And then you go into the apartment buildings, and then take it from there.
Yeah, well, you have a look around the desk, there's a guard there snoozing away, and you can't wake him up. There's a suit of armor you can look at and touch, but we've got a mailbox there. I don't seem to remember there was anything in there, but there was the Woodland Directory. Yeah, there's a door plaque with that keeps coming up.
It wasn't even a door plaque. It was like yours is the only one that's a piece of tape with your name written on it.
Yeah,
it's like, really? Why can't I have my own nice shinies?
Anyway, you carry on and you use the elevator button to call the elevator. But before you get to your apartment, this guy interrupts you, turns out to be Beast. And he's rather anxious about whether or not you've seen his wife, Beauty. So
they're married? What?
Yeah, I know. Crazy. So if you go for I did, there's some more conversation that you can go through, which you can choose just a second ago. Yesterday, she told me not to tell you, or silence.
Yeah, it basically asks, have you seen her? And, you can either tell them where she is, or, well, actually, you don't even tell them where she is. You just kind of tell her you saw her sometime.
Yeah, but going back to the first options with I did, and then there's I haven't seen her, staying out of this, or silence. Beast remembers if you're silent, I lied, so I didn't have the extra bit of conversation.
Yep, I went with I didn't see her.
Hell, it's Beauty, you never know who you're going to get a chance with in this game. You think, well, maybe. She might want a bit of wolf on the side. She likes the beast.
Yeah, and like, I basically just said, okay, I will, I'll lie for you, and then just going back on it. It's like, wow, aren't you an animal? He probably doesn't even find it until later anyway. Which we'll talk about later anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, and after that, Beast runs off, and then you get to your apartment, which is nice and not nice.
Yeah, it's the smallest apartment in the Woodlands building. It's
it sounds like my first apartment. Like, I chose the smallest place in the apartment building, or in the complex that I lived at, because it was nice and small and cost like $20 less than other places. Meet one of my favorite characters, because
he's great.
Which, if you know the story of the Three Little Pigs, I don't think they actually had names, but in this game, does he say which house he was in?
I don't remember. All I know is that he's called Colin.
Yeah, his name is Colin, and like Mr. Toad, he cannot afford a glamour. And I guess the other thing we should say is
the farm.
Yeah. If you don't have a glamour, you have to live at the farm, which, like, the farm has ogres and, like, just a bunch of different
fables that
fables that
can't afford glamours.
Can't afford glamours and can't fit into, like, society.
And it sounds like it's not the nicest place to go to. No one really wants to go there. And Colin does go there quite often, but he keeps escaping. So it can't be that hard to get out of it. I mean, if a pig can escape from it.
He just loves to... I mean, I guess, a pig walking down the streets of New York isn't too... carrying like a 6-pack of beer. Colin likes to drink, and it's hilarious.
And he also likes to keep going on at Bigby about how he destroyed his house. And
basically,
God damn it, you're still putting that on me.
He's like, trying to guilt trip him and letting him stay in his apartment, basically. He's basically just, like, crashing there whenever he feels like. He's like the freeloader that you hate to have.
It's like my mate Luke, who I said could stay around when he was having some problems with his families, and 2 months later he finally left.
Thanks, man. I'll be here for more in a couple days. And then, Colin asks, not to send him back, because he's, like, laying around in your armchair and everything, and, you kind of have a little chat with him, and then he asks you not to send him back to the farm, and his, your choices there, don't be dramatic, I won't tell you what I told Toad, which, basically, in the conversation you have with Toad, like, you say, if you don't get a glamour, I'll send you back, or, I won't do that to you, or something like that. And I believe I went with, I think I went with I won't, but it could have been don't be. Actually, it was probably don't be dramatic. I think it was. I kind of wanted to be like that.
I can't remember what I did, but I don't think it entirely matters.
No, it doesn't.
Because he doesn't. He kind of likes you, but he likes to seem like he hates you, but he keeps coming around. So.
I mean, he's that guy that you broke his lamp once, and he's never gonna let you forget it.
Yeah. Just that one time I was drunk.
Punch the TV off of a stand. Dan. Except that was your own TV. That you replaced with your mom's.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You can take it from there, I think.
Well, if you basically tell him that he's going to go onto the farm, he gets a bit pissed off. But if you choose any of the others, he's more friendly. And then he when you finish, then he wants a drink.
Yeah, and I think it comes up a couple times, because whenever he asked me, I think the first time I was either silent or I said no. Or no, I took a drink. That's what it was. You get a choice to take a drink and just like stare at him. And I did that one first. And then after that, I like give him a drink, and
Yeah.
then like you fall asleep, and then you wake up the next day.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It doesn't seem like you've actually got a bed in this apartment. It is like there's a kitchen-y area, and then there's a sofa with a TV, and that's pretty much all you see. I don't think I ever saw a bedroom.
I don't even
It's
think
a-
I saw a door to go to a bedroom
No.
or something.
It's a tiny little room. And that sofa doesn't look very comfy either. But anyway, you go to sleep, and you get woken up by Snow, who apparently needs your immediate assistance.
Snow's pretty hot.
Yeah. I think Bigby has a thing for her.
Yeah,
Well,
you can
my
kinda-
Bigby does.
Yeah. I think you can tell throughout the game, like, you know, he kind of looks at her like, man, I'd hit that.
Who can blame him?
I did try the whole game to see if there was like any romantic kind of thing that could come out of it, and it never really panned out. It's like, man, Bigby needs some love. And I think Gamer Girl would give him. That's kind of why I wanted to get her on here, because she's like, she likes Bigby. I think
She'll take some of Bigby's big bad. I probably shouldn't have said that.
She's probably thinking the same thing. She's like, yeah.
Anyway, as you walk towards the exit of the building, you can have a chat with Snow and ask her why she needs your help. But you might as well not bother, because some stranger interrupts you. So you get outside and you see a jacket lying on the stairs, and that's hiding a cut-off head. The head from the prostitute from the first chapter. Yeah.
I didn't even notice they had chapters within the episodes. I just kind of figured it was the episode going on.
Yeah, it was kind of like the load screens, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically.
So you have a quick chat with Snow, and then you carefully examine the head and the neck and the mouth. And inside the mouth you find this ribbon, which has got a signet ring attached to it with a strange sign.
Which we'll talk about more later. For sure.
And once you finish examining the head, I went to have a look further around the area.
I went and looked at everything.
Yeah. And if you do that, you find some important evidence. There's a blood trail on the right. Further on the right, there's more fabric, which you pick up. And then there's a fence post with more blood on it. And eventually you go back to Snow, and you compare the torn piece of jeans with her skirt. If you picked up that fabric, just to make sure it's nothing to do with her. And
Sure she doesn't like that.
yeah. And then you have a chat with her, and she asks why someone would murder the victim.
Because he wanted his money back like GTA.
God damn it, that wasn't good enough. Get out of my car and let me run you over.
Just take out a gun and shoot her anyway.
Okay, and then there's a kind of a really... there's a different selection of conversations, and they lead into different bits. So if we start with the first option, which is someone brought her here, that takes you to where you can point out the blood trail, which Snow is skeptical about, the blood on the fence, which Snow agrees with, or you can say, trust me, or there is our friend number 4, silence. Or you can go with 2, this is a message. You can go for the placement of the head, nothing. The victim herself, nothing. The woodsman's threat, Snow agrees with that theory. And, of course, our good old friend, number 4, silence. Now, some of those answers are only going to be available if you found those clues, like the blood trail and the fence post.
Yeah, and if you didn't want to do any of that, you can basically skip to it and go to the end conversation. Which
Yeah.
I don't think it has too much way, it seems like, on
No.
what happens, like, at all.
It's early days in the investigation, isn't it? I mean, you found a head. There's
Yeah.
not much to go on.
Yeah.
Apart from there's a body somewhere without a head, which obviously needs to be sorted out.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think that does get sorted out. You
No.
never find the body.
Nope.
But yeah, it doesn't matter what you choose. Snow asks whether the deputy mayor should be informed of the matter, being Ichabod Crane. Yeah, and you can skip that by leaving instead of get straight to that without investigating. And you've got the choices: don't tell him, do what you need to, just wait a little, and silence again. I think I went with do what you need to.
I went with wait a little bit.
And then if you want to, you can investigate more, but you won't really find much.
No, not really. I think I actually did go back and investigate to make sure I got every little thing.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
after that.
Yeah, it's the next bit of it. Mirror, mirror.
Yeah, it basically goes to the next day. You go to talk to the deputy mayor, and you start off by seeing somebody that doesn't like you at all.
No.
And should we wait to say who it is, or should we just say it?
Well, let's just let's do it as if we were playing through, so we wouldn't know who it is.
Okay. So yeah, you start off by this guy, and he doesn't like you because, well, you're I guess you say that, everyone's standing in a line to go see the deputy mayor, and you basically just cut ahead and go right in. And this guy's like, what the hell are you doing? It's like, wait in line. He's like, and then it's like, I don't have time for this. I'm cutting the line, and I work here. And then, of course, silence. And then you basically go in from there, and, you see Snow, and she's talking to,
some crusty old dude. Or is it?
No, yeah, Crane's not there.
Yeah.
But you find Snow, and then a flying monkey.
Yeah, one of the Wicked Witch of the West's flying monkeys.
Yeah, and what the hell is his name? Buffkin. That's what it is.
Buffkin, yeah.
And he's like, hold on, let me read this.
He's really fucking slow. That's what he is.
Yeah.
You ask him at one point to find a book, and he takes so long.
Yeah. Anyway, it goes to a conversation after you talk to Snow a little bit of her being kind of angry because Crane's angry, and it says it's not my fault. Back off. No one is to blame. And then you kind of stay out of it because she's talking to Buffkin. And kind of yelling at him. Because that's what it is. His bottle of wine or whatever is missing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's kind of fighting with Buffkin. And you find out Buffkin's kind of a drunk.
Yeah.
He likes his liquor. But yeah, after that, you basically go around while he's finding the book, and you go to talk to Mirror Mirror, and go ahead and you can take from there.
Yeah, so you can find the magic lamp as well. Which
you find a bunch
of
different things around this area.
Well, yeah. And you don't actually want to talk to the mirror yet. You want to go to the desk and find the tarot deck and pick one of the cards which you need for interaction with the mirror. And then you go back to the mirror and start the conversation, which is really annoying because you've got to say everything in rhyming couplets. And,
and
we don't have time for that shit.
Yeah, Big Me doesn't like to rhyme. But it's funny whenever he does, because he's all sarcastic and pissy about it.
But yeah, the mirror has the power to show you what other fables are doing at the time,
which is quite helpful.
Apart from now, because we don't know her name, and until you learn her name, the mirror can't show you anything. But if you've got the tarot card, then you can use it with the mirror and have a chat. And when you finish with that, Buffkin finally comes in with the book,
which is the Book of Fables.
Yep, it is indeed.
This is what I really like, and you get to look at the Book of Fables and stuff, and look at the different stories behind characters in the throughout the game, and just. I mean, the stories, but it's nice to be able to read over them again if you don't, because there's some that you don't remember, which we'll begin to probably next. But throughout the game, you'll see this thing pop up in the corner that says new, which I need to go back and do because we got a bunch at the end, and it's new fable chapter or something like that, entry unlocked, And I went through one day while waiting for Dan to download an episode and like read them all, and it was really cool. But yeah, like, you know, you go and you look through the Book of Fables and you try to find this the symbol that you see on the ring, and
yes, it's Prince Lawrence.
oh, I guess you don't know her name. I didn't notice that, or I didn't remember that you never told your name.
Yeah, well,
I
with
thought-
Buffkin helps you find out that her name's Faith.
Yeah, I thought she was like I thought her like real thing was like Donkey Girl or something. What the hell was that? Like she had donkey
Oh yeah,
suit thing, or donkey skin to hide herself.
Something along those lines. Yeah.
But yeah, you find out her name's Faith, and then you go back to the mirror and ask about, and then you talk about Prince Lawrence. And then this is like the first kind of fable you get to see, and you see a bloody knife. And so from there you get to make a choice of where to go.
Yeah, but of course Mr. Toad phones up and interrupts, and he's got some of his own troubles, which is part where we took different paths.
Yeah, I think you went to Toad's apartment first, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I went to Lawrence's apartment.
Yeah. I should have gone to Lawrence's apartment. Because if you go to Mr. Toad's, you can't save Lawrence. And, so I don't have him in my Book of Fables. Or whatever it is, but I don't have that achievement. Or, bits. I've got one bit from each episode missing. I'm going to have to go back and replay the games with the right decisions to get everything unlocked. Which I might just do on my phone, because apparently it's on Android now. If you get it from if you get it from the Amazon App Store.
I need to make Courtney play it because, she is all into Disney and
she'd love
it. Fables in general. Just all the fairy tales and stuff like that. She'd enjoy the shit out of the game.
Yeah, so if you do go to Lawrence's first, the stuff that happens in Toad's apartment doesn't change at all. He just gets a bit pissed off because you're late.
Oh, so that didn't change at all. I didn't even.
Yeah.
No. Well, I guess just is you go up. There's a big hole in is that Woodsman's apartment, or is it a different one?
It's a different one. I think it's Lawrence's apartment.
Well, no, Lawrence is in a different area. He's not in Toad's apartment.
Okay, well, it's Toad's apartment you go to.
Yeah, but there's kind of a hole where a window should be or something like that, and then you go in and.
Oh yeah, that's Toad's. You go to his and you have a look around the apartment. Oh, that's right.
He got roughed up and crap. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you hear a kid crying and you search around and head to the door, and
I kind of got a little bit physical with Toad because I thought he beat his kid or something like that.
Yeah, he's trying to hide what's happening, and you've got no idea.
Yeah, and you kind of feel like he's being shady and he beat the shit out of his kid or something. And well, that's not the case.
I just loved the way I called him out on everything he said.
Yeah.
You see a stain on the wall, a fireplace poker, there's a dust ring on the table where there used to be a lamp, and marks on the window. And Toad starts making up stories about the items you find, and he's like,
yeah.
You pick up the poker, and you're like, I thought you cut your hand. And he's like, oh yeah, well,
yeah.
And then you find the marks on the sill, and he says, oh, I had to, I locked myself out. And you're like, well, you wouldn't need keys. Because kids let him in, and also the fingerprints the wrong way around. And then you find the lamp and the dust, and he's like, the broken lamp was here. And it's like, no, we keep it over here. It's like, the dust. And you catch him out again. And then you can openly tell him he was lying or threaten him.
And
I went with, you lied,
him.
Toad.
I threatened him.
Yeah, if you threaten him, it gets interrupted by his son, who reveals the truth. But everyone gets pissed off with you. I went for you lied, and he calmly admits it, and it's a much better way of doing
You know, I thought he beat his kid, okay?
it.
Oh yeah, and you go there with Snow, don't you?
Yeah.
She talks to the kid.
And when you go to Lawrence's apartment, you got two ways of actually getting in. You can either go through the door. I know you can only use the door, but you can also look through the window and have a look round. And, well, I saw a dead Lawrence. Well, what happened when you went there first?
So there's basically Lawrence tries to kill himself, and he's not dead yet. So, yeah, like you tell Snow he's still alive, and then you kind of search around and stuff like this. Well, actually, yeah, that's right. He still does die, in the end anyway. But you do get to do some stuff before he does die. Like, you get to see him before he dies, basically. Oh yeah, you find like his kind of suicide note and everything, and yeah, you basically look around the apartment trying to find clues, and then you open up the closet, and somebody jumps out at you, and then you kind of go into another quick time crazy event where you're chasing somebody down, and you finally catch him in the end. As once you make all the right button presses and everything.
Yeah, and it's is it Dumb or D?
D.
D. Yes. Tweedle, Dumb, and D, obviously. And you have a chat with him. He claims to be a private investigator. It's a lie. And it doesn't matter what you say. You get to the point where you can beat the truth out of him. But it turns out you're in a trap, and you're getting knocked out by his brother Dumb.
I'd rather got knocked out by D than Dumb.
Yeah, when you wake up, it turns out you're left with one trail, the Trip Trap Bar. And that's where you head next. Of course, if you do it the way Gary did it, you have a chat with Lawrence, and he doesn't matter really what you say, and then you get interrupted by someone trying to break in, and you hide inside the wardrobe. And if you jump out in time, you save Lawrence, and if you don't, Lawrence shoots himself.
Oh wait, why don't I remember that?
I don't know. Perhaps you didn't do it that way.
No, I did go to Lawrence first. But why don't I remember the part about being able to save him?
I have no idea.
Interesting. I still think I have the Fable thing.
Anyway, off to the Trip Trap.
I want to go to the Trip Trap, have a drink.
Yeah, it's a cool bar. You go there looking for the woodsman, and you start off by chatting to this barmaid that,
She's got a cool tattoo.
Yeah. And you've got the choice of, woodsman, sheriff's business, in the neighborhood, or silence.
I think I did it in the neighborhood.
I think I did as well. And, no one in the bar really wants to help you, and it's obvious they're hiding stuff.
And nobody likes you in this bar.
Then you have a look round, and you can find a half-empty glass, a matchbook, and a photo of the woodsman that are behind the bar. And considering he doesn't drink there, according to the barmaid, that's a bit kind of... and then if you haven't given the money to Faith, you can use the cigarette machine. But yeah, you sit on the bar stool next to the guy sitting at the bar and start a conversation with Gran, who has a problem with you. And then, right on cue, the woodsman comes out of the restroom. He doesn't confess to killing Faith, and asks you why you want to arrest him, and you tell him that it's your main you're his main suspect, and you can choose to accuse him of murder. And then Gren,
I kind of went with the whole woodsman thing. I was trying to be a little nice, I guess, and trying to be calm with it instead of like, I'm going to take you in right now. And for the guy who was a stranger at the beginning is actually, what's his name? I can't remember what the hell the name of the book is.
Grendel,
that's what it is, not Greenwich. Yeah, Grendel from Beowulf.
Yes.
It all came back. Grendel. And, believe, he turns into basically his main bad self.
Yeah.
And I think I ripped his arm off
Yeah, I did as well.
Yeah, this is the first time because, going through the game and everything, the more violent the confrontation or difficult, I guess, the situation is, Bigby kind of starts turning into his wolf form.
Yeah.
And in this one, he makes his first kind of, transformation where he's like, I think they call it half wolf, full wolf, and then like something wolf is his last form or whatever.
Big motherfucking wolf.
Yeah, the big bad wolf. But yeah, he like makes his first little transformation. Like, damn. And I refer to it as Super Wolf Saiyan because it's just awesome. But it looks really badass, and I really like it. But yeah, you have a fight with Grendel, and I tore off his arm.
Yeah, you stab him through the shoulder with a pool cue, and then you can rip his arm off or walk away. If you tear off his arm, everyone in the bar gets scared of you and remembers what you did. And if you leave him be, you earn their respect. Yeah, D turns up then.
Oh yeah.
And you have the choice of arresting D or arresting the woodsman.
Who'd you arrest?
I think I went for D.
I went for the woodsman.
Anyway, it doesn't matter who you choose because it ends the same way.
And this is my first. Oh shit! When's the next episode?
Yep.
Of course, I think I had it, and I could go to episode 2. Man, if I got this during the first episode, I would have like just shit my pants.
Yeah. And you get home and you find the murdered head of Snow. Well, the head of Snow, obviously. Murdered. Yeah, you find Snow's head. The rest of it's fine. It's just the head that's dead. I think I've killed Gary.
Alright, so yeah, now episode 2, which is Smoke and Mirrors. Yeah, so the episode starts off with, Snow's been murdered. And you kind of get questioned about it. And then, you're actually by, Monday police, I guess, are kind of, interrogating you about this, and then they're kind of asking you, how you doing? And your choices are hunky dory. I need to find the killer. I'm pissed off, and then you can not answer them. And then there's another set where it's they ask you, who did it or whatever, and you're like, you don't know who did it, or you tell them like you don't know who did it. I don't think you do. Fuck off. And smoke. There's a lot of cigarette lighting in this game with him. And he takes like 2 hits and then throws a cigarette away.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's then you notice that the detective's nose is bleeding and something's wrong with her, and then you ask me, you okay? You missed a spot, or you look nuts, and then silence. And then Ichabod Crane. It says he uses a glamour that causes memory lapses, enters the room and tries to free you, and basically you get out, and then you can say, like, what did you do to her? What's going on? Why are you here? And then he takes you in the car and says, thanks for the ride, thanks for the bailout. This doesn't change anything, / Crane will remember, and then it says Crane will remember that, or you can ignore him. He'll tell you that Crane will tell you that D has been caught and he is being interrogated if you made that choice, or it's going to be, same thing basically, except for the woodsman. And then it's a bunch of choices basically going on here. It's, it's hard, you don't really care, this isn't helping, and then you can also ignore him again. And then Crane gets kind of agitated, and he says, Snow is very dear to him, and even if he didn't show it. And you can say, we have no common ground, fine, just forget it. Or silence. And then another one is, she was frustrated with you, she wanted to change things, she told me to be careful. And then you basically show up at the woodlands, and then you start your interrogation.
And when you go in there, you can play it tough, or you can just listen without any objections. If you play it tough, Bluebeard likes you, and Crane warns you against doing that. And if you're humble, Bluebeard it keeps telling you you'll learn nothing from the suspect, and Crane, on the other hand, looks favourably at you.
Yeah, Bluebeard is very, very into the beat the shit out of them and get what you need.
Oh, yes. And yeah, then there's options, suspect starts asking you, but for me it was D, keeps asking you about your head, and you're like, this isn't a joke, you're funny, and it's been better. And then you got the choice of asking, who his boss is, what he's up to, why they were at Faith's, and why he was at Toad's. And then you get the options to hit him, say I'm not messing around, or leave him be. Doesn't really matter what you do, you still have to carry on.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, then I had a look round, found some of Dee's stuff which he had on him whilst being arrested. There's a photo of Snow, which I showed to Dee, and he got the choice of, this could be you, you can help us, Snow was murdered. And silence.
And then basically the same stuff's happening with the woodsman as well. And there's parts, I don't know if it happens with Dee, but like you can offer him a cigarette, or also like a drink and stuff like that you can give him. But yeah. I did all that stuff. I was like trying to be nice to get him to answer questions, and it seems to pan out in the end. I'm sure if you're violent, it probably does the same thing.
Yeah, and if you when you get to the point where you find some money, you get another conversation, and if you go with what did he steal, Dee'll start talking, she steal, and then the other ones she stole from you, you seem angry. And then you pick up the cigar and you offer it to Dee or the woodsman, and they get talking, and then once you've done it, you've got the choice of choking them or letting them talk.
And I let them talk.
Yeah, I did too, I think. But of course, Crane sticks his beaky nose in again. Bastard.
And he does have a big nose.
Yeah. And you've got the choice of, fuck you, Crane. You treated her like shit, or hitting him. Or silence, obviously. I think I went with fuck you, Crane, because he was pissing me off. I
can't remember what I did there.
And yeah, that gets us on to the next bit.
Yeah, and Snow finally shows back up, and like, I think at the end of interrogation or whatever, and you're like, I think you're all like, what the fuck?
Yeah, your murdered head's fine.
Yeah. And then, Snow, doesn't like your methods of, what you did. And, starts talking to you and stuff like that. And he said, I was doing my job. I thought you were dead. It wasn't me. Or Silence. Where the hell have you been? You really scared us. How are you not... Let's go. How are you not dead? And I think I went with, where the hell have you been?
Yeah, I can't remember what I went with, but, yeah.
But, from there, because I told her to, stay back because, too dangerous or whatever. And, you say, like, I should have been there. I'm glad you took care of it. That's not your job. Snow, remember that. Or Silence. And then, which I said, I'm glad you're alive. Are you okay? I should talk to TJ. Because, you basically leave her with Toad and TJ.
Yeah, she's been looking for clues.
Yeah, and, goes through some more stuff, and, in spite of what happened, you still need to find the murder and stuff like that, and, you go in the Crane's office, and Toad and TJ are there, and you kind of talk to them. You kind of talk to TJ about stuff, and you can either kind of be an asshole to get the information out of a child, which I didn't do, or you can, be all kind and nice to them because, it's kind of scared you because you're the big bad wolf. So, I was trying to be nice and everything and not making them afraid of me. And, he says that he saw somebody while he was swimming in the lake, because was it lake? Lake or river or something, or pond, that's what it was. And, I guess this is what happened to the body of Snow, at least, or who you're gonna find out later who it's gonna be, was thrown into the pond. and then the next body or the next head shows up after that. So he kind of saw this stuff going on while he was taking a little swim, and then after that is all over with, you go and inspect the body, and you can either try to convince Snow to not go in because it's basically her body, or you can kind of just let her come along with you. And basically, I think either way you do it, she comes along anyway. And then you get to inspect the body, and you can take it from here, Dan.
Yeah, so you inspect the body, and you find a brooch. You examine the head. You find net marks. Walk over the other side of the table. There's clues, rope marks, trap marks, clenched fist. You look at that, and you keep pressing the button that appears on the screen. You find some flowers. After the investigation, Snow tells you that the glamour that's on this corpse isn't perfect, because it's a little bit different. She actually looks slightly different. So you got the choices. It might be a cheap glamour. It might be failing. It might be designed not to be seen. Not to be perfect. But anyway, you go back to the body and you find some coat buttons. You open them up, and you have the options of mind if I open a coat? I need to open a coat. Nothing. Forget it. They ask her if it's okay and stuff. Anyway, Crane comes in and asks Crane comes in, asks you some questions, and eventually you go back and you find the lingerie. You look at a couple of pockets, and you find magic item in one and perfumes. And Crane warns you about checking out the magic item. Where you can say, "Quiet, Crane. You worry too much. Let's find out," or nothing. There's this little puzzle, and you've just got to rotate the things. So it looks like a deer image, and inside it there's a rolled photograph and a lock of hair. And then the glamour breaks, and it turns out the dead woman's a troll.
Snow's a troll?
Yeah. So, yeah, there's, holy shit, yeah, she's a troll. Calm down in silence. And then Snow suggests that Holly, the barmaid in the Trip Trap, would know more. So you go and then there's, so you have a little bit more of a conversation. And then it comes up to an important choice. You can allow Snow to go with you or forbid her from coming along. But whatever you do, you end up at the Trip Trap bar.
Yeah, and I think I let it be up to Snow to kind of make her choice, and I think she comes along anyway. In the end. But yeah, you go to a Trip Trap bar, and Gren is there with Holly and everything, and then you're kind of asked some questions, and you find out that Holly, or the dead corpse, is actually Holly's sister, or dead sister now, Lily.
Yep.
And you kind of find out after a bunch of different choices that, she had to be a prostitute just like Faith. And, to make her more appealing, she gets a dodgy glamour because they're kind of expensive regular ones. After that, you find out Holly kind of wants the body of her dead sister so they can, have a funeral and all this stuff. And, you can say, her body is part of the investigation. You can check Crane. And then you can say, you can have the body, and then it says, in the corner will say, you promise to give Holly the body. And after that, you go to the place where she worked, which is Pudding and Pie.
Yeah, and Georgie Porgy was obviously the boss of the Pudding and Pie. So you go there to find out some more information, and at the door, you can basically choose any of the options and get in. When you get in, Georgie is giving a rehearsal to a new dancer, and he's a bit of a bastard. He doesn't treat her very well. But it turns out he doesn't really want to tell you anything, so you have to intimidate him. So you get get his book.
And Georgie is one of those people that I didn't know, so actually I just looked up the
Georgie Porgy Pudding and Pie kissed the girls and made them cry.
And the boy came out to play. Georgie Porgy ran away.
Yep. Now, if you want to go down the tough guy path, you can actually destroy all of the bar furniture there.
I destroyed a couple things. Oh, and don't forget about Hans. the bouncer.
Yes, yeah. There's, I don't remember too much about him because I don't think I destroyed very much.
He's not, well, he's there, but like, he's not the brightest crayon in the box.
I mean, you can destroy loads of stuff in there. The TV, DJ booth, cigarette dispenser, the sign, beer keg. But it doesn't matter what you do, you go deeper on into the club and you open a door and you find a cubby hole where there's cosmetics, a note, and you can find Faith's shelf, which has a jewellery case and a makeup case. And then you walk deeper into the room and have a chat with a stripper.
Yay. Which is this where she tells you who she is, or is this later on? I can't remember because you basically find out the girl is the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, Nerissa.
Yeah. So you find out, I can't remember if it's here or later on. I guess we'll find out as we go further into this. But yeah, it's a Little Mermaid you kind of get into, and it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah, and you have a chat with her. You learn about room 207 and Mr. Smith. And yeah, if you hire her, she'll answer all of your questions. And if you haven't, if you've taken Dee's money in the first chapter, you can give her all of that, which she rather likes. Anyway, upshot is she gives you a hotel room key, so you can go and search for more clues.
Yeah, and then you end up in the hotel room, and guess who's working there?
Is it Beauty?
Yep, it's Beauty. She's behind the counter of basically, would you call it a brothel, kind of, I guess?
Yeah, it's one of those hotels where you rent the rooms by the hour rather than by the day.
Yeah. Yeah, you can basically have sex with a prostitute. But yeah, you go in, you find Beauty and everything, and she kind of wonders, why you're there, and kind of she asks you about Beast and all this stuff, and then you can say you should tell Beast I won't say anything, which is what I chose, I believe, and I don't care her silence. And then you ask her, did you know Faith? Ever see Lily with anyone? And do you know Tweedledee? Which I think the other one is, do you know the Woodsman? And then after all that, she kind of takes you upstairs, and I can't remember what the number is on the door. Is it 207?
200.
Yeah.
No, 207, yeah.
Yeah, it's 207, which is at the end of the hall. And I think you can listen at doors and stuff like that throughout there, and I think somebody's in, like, a room. But yeah, you kind of go in, and you kind of see some blood on a bed with some crazy ass petals and shit around it, and man, and I believe you find the picture. Is this where you? I'm trying to look through this. I think this is where you find the picture of Crane with Snow White, and
wow,
you're like, what the fuck? I think that's what I chose, because I know that's somewhere in here.
It's the glamour troll, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep, Lily. And, you basically, you go searching around looking for clues and stuff, and then you find the picture, and you're just like, that fuck. And yeah, I think, oh yeah, that's right. I think Snow does stay behind. I forgot about that. And, Snow is with Crane or whatever, you're like, kind of freaking out at the end of that. But after this whole section, and you kind of know who the killer is, you kind of go out and you meet somebody.
Yeah, he's not a happy chappy, is he?
Not really. And I think this is the only combat stuff that takes place throughout this episode.
Yeah, and you have no choice. Beast gets pissed off with you, and you end up in a fight.
Because, well, you're with Beauty in a brothel kind of place, so... Oh, man. Yeah, he isn't very happy with her.
No, not at all. And there's another important choice. Whether or not you beat up Beast so much that he passes out with Beauty watching, or leave him alone to cool down.
I left him alone.
Yeah, I did as well. But whatever you do, you end up forcing your way into room 207. And, it's obviously where Lily was murdered.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. That takes place before.
And, there's stuff to find. Cassette player, look at the bed. There's some lilacs that you can compare. You'll find a storybook. And then you examine the book and talk to Beauty. And basically what you got to do here is kind of start drawing a psychological portrait of your suspect. Go for he made Lily bite the apple because that connects the evidence. And
it's basically where you find out it's Crane in the end. When I was just going through, I completely forgot about Beast find you before you go in the room, not after.
Yeah. And each page of the book you turn, you've got to connect the clues. So the bed matches the coffin. He's obsessed with death. The bed matches the coffin. You return to the examining room. You return to examining the room, not the examining room. And there's an ashtray and a cassette. And after you've seen all of those, open the closet and you find a dress that's really similar to the one that Snow's wearing in the book.
Yes.
So, Gopher looks like a snow costume. You've connected the evidence again. Way. And, then you pick up an envelope and you open that up and it's revealed that Ichabod Crane has something to do with this.
He's touching Snow White inappropriately. That isn't Snow White.
Yeah.
Man, that's fucked up. And
got a fake Snow White hooker.
Yeah. And that's where the episode ends, and you're just like, fuck the what? Oh, man. And, then we go to chapter 3.
Yeah, actually, no, it starts off where you left the other one. You've just found the photo of Crane and where Lily got murdered.
Yeah, and then you kind of talk to Beast again. After he's calmed down a little bit, I guess. And because you're the big bad wolf, you kicked his ass. Hey, look, Tiny's playing the Wolf Among Us. Hi,
hey.
Tiny.
So after all the chat, you go off to warn Snow, who's at Lily's funeral. They don't like you there, really, do they?
Nope. But you can either, after you kind of talk to Beast and shit, you need to go warn her, and you go to the funeral, and you can either interrupt or let Snow say her piece, and then talk to her, or you can interrupt. I kind of just let her talk, and then,
Yeah.
I mean, what's a little bit of time? Crane's only...
Exactly. I mean, you can see Snow's there. She's perfectly fine. So...
And there's a whole bunch of conversation and stuff, and they're kind of having their little, crap, what the hell do they call the funeral? Eulogy kind of thing, going on, while you're talking to Snow and everything, and then two people decide to show up, because they're assholes with shotguns, nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a shotgun funeral.
A shotgun wedding. But yeah, Tweedledee and Tweedledum decide to show their faces, and, well, the other fables don't really want them there, and, there's about to be a very violent confrontation, but basically, Tweedledee and Tweedledum want you to come with them. The other fables see them there, and, they get angry, and because they're interrupting this kind of funeral process and everything. And there's about to be a confrontation, and then you can either, decide to try to calm everyone down, to not attack Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and then you basically get shot anyway.
Yeah.
And you're not happy. And then you go see then, well, you go to the doctor kind of takes care of you, and I can't remember his name. Do you remember what his name is?
I want to say Dr. Foster.
Swinehart.
Swinehart, okay.
I got lucky. I clicked on one of the tabs I have open, and he's like the first one there. Go me. Yeah, but Dr. Swinehart's like, you should probably take it easy, but Big B doesn't want to fucking do that.
Hell no. And yeah, you end up on the next part of the episode, and in Crane's office. And more conversation, checking out everyone's alright, I've got to find Crane, stuff like that. And the mirror's broken, and Buffkin has to repair it. You're like, no!
Because he takes forever.
Yeah, and so, Snow starts asking you more stuff, and, stuff starts getting a bit complicated. There's, deep and meaningful conversations, and then eventually Buffkin interrupts, and there's a piece of the mirror missing.
Well, surprisingly, it didn't take him too long to put together a shattered mirror.
Yeah, he's alright. He's shit at finding books, but jigsaw puzzles, he's amazing.
Except for one thing.
Yeah, the missing bit. So yeah, you have a look round, have a chat, have a look at, talk to Buffkin, examine the desk, stuff like that, find a letter, and then Bluebeard turns up and, just keeps going on, and interrupting, and
he wants to take physical action.
Yeah. And there's an important choice here. You can, because he wants to work on it as well, and
basically, no matter what you do, there are places you can go, and or wherever you go, he's going to go to the other place.
Yeah, if you choose going to Dee's office, Bluebeard will go to Crane's office, or Crane's apartment even, and the other way around.
Yeah, which this is one that I know we definitely took different paths, because you went to Dee's office and I went to Crane's apartment.
Yeah, and if you go to Dee's office, you find hints about Crane's witch, and you then have to go to Crane's apartment where Bluebeard went for where Bluebeard's gone to. You also find burned things. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, but what happens when you go to Crane's?
Oh, you get to go through there, and I don't think you get to find him whenever you go second, but Jack is there, and I'm guessing this is Jack Be Nimble, Jack Be Quick, I don't know.
No, I think it's Beanstalk Jack, because I've been reading the...
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that Jack. Yeah, and he's very kind of shady.
Yeah, he's a bit of a petty criminal.
Yeah.
And thief.
But he has no beanstalk here. But yeah, you kind of find him, and he tries to get away, and you basically... I think he can get away if you screw up. But, there's a quick time event, you kind of have to, stop him, and you smash him into the wall and stuff like that, and you start asking him questions. Because he's basically robbing Crane's apartment and grabbing stuff there. And then eventually Snow shows up and everything. So, and then, Jack asks you to let him go and, don't question him and stuff. And you find a bunch of, I'm guessing you still find, well, maybe not. You don't find them all, probably. There's a few throughout, but they're like the glamours, kind of throughout his apartment, and Jack has a few in his bag, because he's stealing shit, and I think there's money or something like that he took too, because I think this is where I get money from, can't remember exactly. But yeah, you kind of question him, Snow shows up, questions him, he kind of goes away, and then, what I did next was I went to the Tweedle's office, and that's where you find Flycatcher. And there's basically nothing, because Bluebeard went there and he turn the place over and smash shit and just, basically ruin the any evidence you probably could have found.
Yeah. If you go to D's, you find Flycatcher, who's perfectly fine.
Yeah, Flycatcher's a little beat up from Bluebeard. Whenever I went second time. Or not second time, but second place. And then after that, you basically go to Trip Trap Bar, because there's nothing to find out at the office whenever I went.
Yeah, and if you go to Holly's bar first, Bluebeard goes to Crane's place, and you only see the burnt stuff.
Yeah. But whatever, I don't know if same thing happened to you, but I offered Flycatcher a job, and I
think I did as well.
Okay. Yeah. So you can offer him a job, and then after that you basically leave and go to the Trip Trap Bar again. And this is whenever Holly is passed out because she's like pissed drunk. Gren is pissed drunk, and like you're having a conversation with him, and I don't think the woodsman's drunk. I think he's just drinking or whatever. But yeah, Gren keeps drinking, and you can either have a drink or not have a drink and stuff like that. I think you're going to look through Lily's stuff, right?
Yeah, you're trying to get more clues and things, but Gren and the woodsman end up getting quite angry and trying to have a fight.
So that's right.
You can separate them or leave them to it.
I think I separated them.
Yeah, I think I did as well, and told Gren to give it a rest, and the woodsman, I think, appreciated it. It's hard to tell. But anyway, after the conversation, you can go to Holly's room and have a look round, and you wake up Holly. And under the bed you find a box. In the box you find a bottle of wine and a photo and stuff and a brooch. And then Snow calls and she wants you to check out the witch's place.
Yeah, which is Auntie Greenleaf that you go to next.
Yeah.
And, well, before you get to talk to Auntie Greenleaf, you find a little girl at her apartment or whatever. And you're talking to this girl and everything, and she's like just asking you questions like a little girl would do. Well, she's a little weird, I guess, for a little girl. And then, you find out after talking to her for a while and stuff like that, she's actually Annie Greenleaf transformed herself into a little girl.
Yeah.
And then you get to have a little conversation with her.
Damn sneaky witches.
And, you find out that Annie Greenleaf actually has been making the dodgy or
cheap glamours, yeah.
Yeah, cheap glamours out of her tree that she has growing in her apartment. Well, not really growing, it got brought from whatever the hell the Fable World's called. And Snow, in the end, kind of goes, hey. And I'll let Dan take it from there.
Yeah, you've got an important choice. Snow wants you to burn the tree. And, I chose not to.
Yeah, I didn't burn the tree because that'd be kind of mean.
Well, yeah, and it's, inside a building and there's, old furniture, the whole place probably would have gone up.
Man, I should have tried to see what happened. But, yeah.
Yeah, you head off and you try to find out
well, first
where Crane is.
You can offer her a job.
Oh, that is true.
Which, I guess all the other kind of witches that make the other glamours work on the 13th floor, they call it. I'm guessing in the Woodlands apartment building area. And they all work up there, and you can offer a job there.
But yeah, after that, you go to the nightclub, and you head for this room where you can hear Crane. Where you get the choice to yell at him, grab him, or arrest him. Crane then says he wants to wants some information from the dancer with a magical ring. And yeah, you end up having a chat with Snow, and she doubts that Crane could have actually killed someone. And you go out onto the street with Crane, and it's blocked by cars, the Tweedle brothers, and an unknown woman who turns out to be Bloody Mary.
And man, when they brought up Bloody Mary, I was like, oh shit, they went there. They went there. Bloody Mary. Man, I was always afraid as a kid to like do that whole spin around 3 times saying Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
Do that around here in a pub and you'll just get 3 Bloody Marys. And a big bill.
I don't think I'd want one because I'm not into the tomato juice kind of thing.
Oh, I'm not either, but I do like a good Bloody Mary. You know, with the Tabasco, and yeah, it's nice.
Maybe I should try making one eventually.
Anyway, Bloody Mary tells you that she's taking Crane, and then there's a quick time event. Ooh!
A long kind of quick time event.
Yeah, but the upshot is you can choose whether or not you're going to kill or spare Dumb. We did the same thing and spared him, but Ryan Kryptonian's who we played
his fucking throat out.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Yeah, Ryan. We should actually add him on this because he made like the completely violent choices. It seems during this, and yeah, he kills Dumb, and well, whenever we get to the end, we'll talk about what he did at the end. But jeez, man, like I never would have been like, I don't know, even if somebody like I would have just arrested the guy instead of like ripping his throat out. But yeah, in the end, it doesn't matter because Bloody Mary fucks you up.
Oh yes.
And she shoots you with, because of course, yeah, they have to have them to use on Bigby, silver bullets. And well, for a wolf or like werewolves and stuff like that, if you know that kind of lore, silver is bad for them, and you're basically on the edge of death at the end of this episode. So, but yeah, like you kind of find out something about this figure, the Crooked Man, and well, the episode basically ends with you almost dead, and then it goes on to the next one, which is called In Sheep's Clothing. But the episode starts off with you being patched up by Dr. Swinehart again, and he kind of gives you some information, or not information, but advice, saying you probably shouldn't get hurt anymore. You're going to be, he basically says, the next place I'm going to see you is in the morgue.
Yeah.
So, oh, and also, I guess at the end of the episode, I completely forgot until I saw this picture. Bloody Mary breaks your arm by stepping on it. And, like, you're like, oh, my arm, which I think is what I said. Because you can either say what happened to me in my arm, and or am I being okay, or silence. But yeah, like I said, oh, my arm. He's like, I'm kind of busy taking shrapnel out of you, but if you want to set that yourself, you can. And god damn, that was gruesome.
Yeah, it's akin to chopping that guy's leg off in The Walking Dead, isn't it? It's.
Oh yeah,
it's,
what was that, like episode 2 or some the first?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Which, sorry, spoiler for The Walking Dead season 1 if you didn't play it yet.
That's just one little bit. Now. Yeah.
But yeah, you get a nice little quick time event kind of thing of you setting your arm in place with the bone and shit, and
the bone. Look at the bone.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god. Yeah, that was kind of insane. And then it kind of goes on to Snow talking to Colin, being like, "Bitch, you better get to the farm if you're not going to get a glamour." And, Snow kind of talks to you and says, like, he needs to go back to the farm, and I can't remember, you say something else or whatnot. Yeah, but, like, they're arguing, and yeah, you can tell Colin to shut up. He's like, come on, I'm like dying over here. But yeah, like she tells you like he needs to go back to the farm because she wants to keep all the fables that don't have glamours in the farm. They kind of not keep peace, but like keep everything kind of in order.
Yeah, keep it all on the down low so the Mondays don't find out.
Yeah. But after that, Nerissa comes into your after you're kind of recovered. You're still feeling like shit, but you're in your office and Nerissa comes to have a chat with you. And I guess this is one thing we haven't said yet. A lot of because all these prostitutes and everything have ribbons around their necks, and you don't know why, and the ribbons have something to deal with them not being able to say a bunch of stuff to you, and their main line is these lips are sealed. Yeah. So Nerissa kind of tries to explain stuff to you without having that happen, but there's no real way for them to say anything. So you try to figure out on your own by her kind of giving some clues.
Yeah, trying to talk about it without talking about it, which is always a pain in the ass, isn't it?
Yeah.
Suddenly Big B notices that Nerissa's wearing the same ribbon that Faith had, and it turns out you can't take the ribbon off because if you do, the person wearing it will die. So that's not a good plan.
You found that out there? I just think that you can't take it off. But I think you kind of realize, they're probably going to die. But they never actually say.
Full of interruptions, this game. This time it's Snow who comes in, and Nerissa leaves straight after it, and you're like, oh, god damn it, really? I was just about to get some freaking Anyway, it turns out Beauty's called.
Get up on!
Beauty calls and she needs some help. You have a bit of a chat with Snow again and go off to Beauty and Beast's apartment. Which, Beast doesn't seem to be too happy to see you there.
Yeah.
And you start having a chat with him and he's like, and
is that exactly what he did?
Yeah, and you have these. Eventually, after talking to him, he lets you in, and Beauty and Beast go off into a room privately. I had a quick look around the apartment, and there wasn't a huge amount there. There's like a painting, an urn, and a little kind of shelfy thing.
Shelfy thing.
Yeah. And you can also eavesdrop against the door, can't you? So I did that. There wasn't a huge amount of information, but the phone suddenly starts ringing. Beast wants to answer it, and I stopped him from doing that. And you hear the message.
Yep, that's what I did.
Yeah, turns out they are in trouble. And it seems that Beauty has borrowed some money from some place, a place that belongs to the Crooked Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically, Beauty and Beast's problems are they're used to living, the luxury life. I mean, Beast was a prince, and that's how they knew how to live. Yeah. And they didn't want to live without, some luxury to it, even though they are still in an apartment building. But looking at their apartment and everything, it's got like nice wallpaper, nice couch, and all this stuff in it. And like Dan said, they get in trouble with money, and Beast is working for the Crooked Man, delivering packages from the meat shop to I don't think he says exactly where they go. They just go a bunch of different places or whatever, wherever they tell them to put it or whatever. And the whole thing between Beauty and Beast doesn't want Beauty to work, but as we found out, she works at the hotel, and that's and he didn't like that and all that. But they're both trying to get money to live this life of semi-luxury.
Yeah.
And they get themselves in trouble.
Yeah, so you have a choice. You can go to the Lucky Pawn Shop, where Beauty's been borrowing the money from, or the butcher shop that Beast's been working at. And I can't remember which one I went to first.
I went to the pawn shop first.
I think I did as well.
Yeah, I think we went to the same place.
And Jack, that lovable rogue Jack, is working behind the counter, and Toad's there, and he's trying to pawn Faith's coat. Yeah, good old Toad. Of course, no glamour. So, yeah, another conversation, load of stuff. You don't really learn a huge amount, but you do try to get some information about the Crooked Man from Jack.
And then one of the lovely characters shows up, which is kind of crazy. The Jersey Devil.
Well, yeah, also the woodsman's axe is behind the counter.
Oh, yeah, that's right, and he wants his axe back, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the Jersey Devil and the woodsman enter the pawn shop, and a fight ensues.
Yeah, and this was some crazy fight. The Jersey Devil, looks fucking crazy.
I think I remember ripping one of the horns off his head.
Yes, and stabbing him with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take that!
That's nice.
Yeah, that was... seeing the Jersey Devil in his, true form was kind of crazy.
Yeah, and once you've had the fight, you can interrogate Jersey, and I think I might have stomped on him. Anyway, eventually you find out that meeting the Crooked Man isn't easy, because he's got this magic door that moves around, and it's a pain in the ass to find it.
Mm-hmm.
After chatting a little longer, will he ask you for a cigarette? I think I gave him one.
Yeah, I think it did as well.
Yeah, it seems like he's not quite so...
Well, he did help you in the end with Jersey Devil, and then he says I didn't know, because he grabs his axe and he's like, I didn't know who I wanted to swing at more.
Yeah. Now, is this the bit? Oh, I think we've missed the bit where he tells you about the story about Little Red Riding Hood. It turns out he was just going there so that he could rob the house.
Yeah.
And you turn up going to eat the grandmother.
Well, you've already eaten the grandmother.
Oh yeah. When Red Riding Hood turns up, and that's he was like, "Man, I'm no hero. I was just gonna loot the place."
Yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Actually,
that bit was brilliant.
That was an interesting twist on that story.
Yeah. It's like everyone looks up to him for being such a hero, and he's just this down and out bum that was trying to survive by stealing. Which, I guess so, because, would a woodsman earn that much cash? Just chopping down trees.
Well, he's a lumberjack and he's okay.
Well, he obviously isn't if he's got a nick stuff.
Yeah, he starts to walk away, kind of say, hey, where you going, or, you gonna be okay, and stuff like that. But you hop in a taxi and you head over to the butcher shop.
Yeah, cut above.
You can kind of look around. There's nobody there, and I don't know what would have happened, because I think we did the same thing. But I think you could probably go behind the counter at first, and it probably would have been good.
Yeah.
But you wait, and then you see it, but after you talk to the butcher for a while, he's like, "Oh, I need to go in the back," or something like that, for something. And you notice it, but Bigby doesn't notice it in the game. He pushes a button, and I think you see the button behind the counter whenever you first go in. But since Bigby can't see behind the counter, he doesn't see the button. So, yeah, he pushes the button, he goes to the back, and then you realize after going through all of this, it's a big fucking freezer, man.
It is. But before the freezer bit, one of the first things I noticed was a no smoking sign, and I had to take that opportunity to light a cigarette.
I didn't, actually. I didn't like cigarette.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah.
But yeah, you go in the back, big ass freezer area. It's basically three times the size of the front of the store. And he's back there. You're trying to find him. I think could have been silent through the whole thing. It was like, hey, asshole, get back here, kind of thing. Except calmly. But you find him moving boxes in the back at a door, and the door's locked. It's not a door, but it's what do they call those?
Big metal shutter thing.
Yeah, like shutter garage kind of door thing. And you basically have to talk to him, open up in the end, find out there's a red light flashing because he set the alarm off and people got away that were back there. And it looks like they were doing stuff with chemicals. And what were the chemicals do it for? I can't remember.
Cheap glamours and stuff as well, weren't they? Or
is that what it was?
Poison, I can't remember.
That? No, I think it was some with glamours. But like, see, shackles, they're basically keeping people imprisoned in the back there to make these cheap glamours and stuff like that. And you talk to him more. The butcher guy's basically like, I'm dead, I'm screwed, they're gonna kill me. So yeah, but he warns them off so you don't get to find anybody. And then it goes to the next kind of part after that. You leave and...
Okay, so yeah, you go back off to Snow's office and share your findings with her. You also get the bit of the mirror, don't you, back from...
Oh, that's right, yeah, in the back of the place, you actually find you find Crane's jacket, and then you get the mirror shard out of it. And, I think Snow or you give it, the piece to Bigby after you get back, and he starts to put he puts it back in, but the thing needs to pull itself together, or the mirror needs to pull himself back together, basically, or heal himself, or whatever, all those cracks.
You get to Snow's office, you talk with her, share your findings, and then Bluebeard tells you that he needs to talk with you. And you can choose, take a number, fuck off until I'm ready, and we'll talk soon. Then Snow has a go with you about Toad and send him to the farm or make him finally buy his glamour. And you have a chat with Toad.
Crane's jacket, you find money, and I took the money. And apparently Ryan got to do it, but like for the whole glamour thing, apparently you give Toad the money, but for some reason I couldn't get that choice, and we'll talk more about that, I guess, in a little bit.
Yeah. I told him that I'd do what I can.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
And then Snow, I think I told Snow that he won't be a problem. Or that I did the right thing. I can't remember. But anyway, Buffkin interrupts, and he's managed to repair the mirror.
Dun, dun, dun.
So you use the mirror and find out that the door is currently at Central Park. So you head off there to get to his hideout.
But first, you can actually look at different people or something like that. And
yeah, you can.
I went and looked at where Crane was, and Bloody Mary's with him, and, well, Bloody Mary and Mirrors. Actually, Mirror doesn't like Bloody Mary for that kind of reason. Yeah. And she can, other than she can appear through mirrors and shit, she basically cuts off your vision of what's being shown. And
yeah,
Mirror has, basically a mirror ache, or a headache.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get turned away. I think you can look at someone else. I can't remember.
No, I don't remember either. Anyway, Central Park.
Yeah, you head off there, you find the door, you run through it, and you end up in a big mansion kind of place. And you're kind of greeted by... I never expected this to actually be here. Tiny Tim.
Or not so tiny Tim.
Yeah, not so tiny Tim. He's a lot more grown up. He's probably, I don't know, 16-ish, I would say.
Yeah.
And, you're kind of asking why you're there and stuff. And I think he thanks you if you don't say anything about his leg.
Yeah, you have a chat with him. And there's a line from Star Wars in there where you can say, kind of small for a guard. Which made me chuckle. Okay, it's a misquote, but it still made me chuckle. Anyway, you have a chat with him, and the doors opened, and there's one or two people stood there in front of you.
A couple more than two, man. Like, everybody that works for the Crooked Man is there.
Yeah, you've got the whole criminal underground there. The Tweedle brothers, there's
Jersey Devil,
yeah. Is Gren there? Yeah, I think Gren is there, isn't he?
No,
he's not.
Yeah, they're not part of that. Bloody Mary isn't there yet, I don't think. I think she shows up at the beginning of 5.
Yeah, she does.
Oh god, who else is there? Oh, Crane's there, but he gets taken away? Because I don't think it's at the beginning of 5. I think it's at the end of 4 that they, like, take him away or whatever. Yeah, I can't remember who else would be there. I'm trying to remember what happens in episode 5 to remember who's actually there. Georgie. Georgie and Narissa are there.
Yeah.
Or no, it's not Narissa, it's Vivian. Right? I think that's it. But yeah, after that, like, this is the end of the episode, and you know, the Crooked Man, you see him for the first time, and
he's got one hell of a droopy eye.
Yeah. And he asks you to take a seat, and you can either, or I think he says, like, have a seat, have a drink, or something like that, and he says, or you can either, like, say nothing, or say, like, I'll have a drink, something else, and then it's like, smoke a cigarette. And I know I chose smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, me too.
No, I thought you said, like, actually, I think one was like, I'm here for one reason or something like that, and I thought that's what you said. I don't think you had a cigarette.
I'm pretty sure I had a cigarette. I tend to always have a cigarette in that game whenever I get the chance. And then I have one because it makes me think, oh yeah, cigarette, might as well.
Yeah, but that, as soon as you make that choice, it's kind of like Walking Dead Season 1, Episode 4 kind of ending.
Yeah, big old cliffhanger. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and you know, like at the end of Episode 4, The Walking Dead, they're like, you know, be careful what you say, and then you get to make choice, and then it happens in the 5th episode. And we'll get into the 5th episode now, I guess. Yeah, so Chapter 5, you kind of, you know, talk to the Crooked Man. He wants to make a deal with you, and he lets you know that the person that, well, he doesn't want to let you know. He says, you know, we'll take care of this internally, you know, don't worry about it, whatever. And he finally, because you're like persistent, you're like, I'm not leaving, tell me now, bitch. You find out that Georgie's the one that killed the girls, and then, you know, Georgie's kind of protesting, being like, you did it, you told me, and, you know, he said, Crooked Man kind of has a silver tongue, and, you know, he tries to convince, I guess he's a man of persuasion, and that's kind of how he does his stuff, is, you know, he tries to get people on his side, even if he's in the wrong for it. And, well, you know, you find out it's Georgie, and then this whole thing kind of happens. Georgie is not going to go quietly, and a gigantic fight takes place. And, like, this whole section is, like, 10-15 minutes of just straight, like, action, quick time events, crazy stuff going on. It is insane. But it was so much fun.
That's great fun.
Yeah, and I guess, I guess I want to say this, like, episode 4, I was not impressed with. I was like, oh man, this was like nothing, up to the end. And, like, chapter 5 just goes balls to the wall crazy. And so, like, there's just big fucking, you know, quick time event. Jersey Devil is after you, the Tweedles are after you. I kind of wonder what happened with, Ryan, because, you know, he killed Dom, and one of them isn't going to be there, and, you know, these three are, like, coming after you and stuff like that. and you basically beat the shit out of everyone.
As long as you're quick enough.
Yeah, which I was, and I just, man, I was on the edge of my seat for this whole kind of quick time action going on. And I'm like, oh man, click, Q. Oh man, and like, you know, you have to like dodge stuff with walls and stuff like that, and oh man, you just like tear shit up and you beat the shit out of everyone. It's amazing. And then I can't remember what happens, but this window, kind of stained glass window breaks, and it's a portal to see. I don't know, or well, nobody knows really where this kind of hideout place is. But you know, to get to Crocusman's place, you have to go through the portal, and then to leave, you got to go through the portal. So like you're doing this whole thing. Georgie comes at you with a knife. You stab Georgie, and you know he's all like, and Vivian's takes him back and through the portal, and Crocusman leads to the portal. Bloody Mary shows up, and well, I think it starts off with like her kicking you or something like that. I can't remember, but she takes Crocusman through the portal, and then Georgie gets taken through the portal, and then you just have to beat everyone up. And I smashed Jersey Devil's face in with a lamppost or something.
Yeah,
beat the shit out of the. Yeah, I beat the shit out of these. I think, or the Tweedles, not these. I think D throws a gun to Dom, or other way around. I can't tell exactly which is which because they kind of look the same except for the shirt, and I can't remember who had what shirt on. But yeah, you kind of hit the gun out of the way. Yeah, you basically beat the shit out of everyone, and then you run through the portal and end up in New York in a different section. And it just keeps going crazy. And you take off. You see Georgie getting put in the car, and then you chase after the car, and you just keep going from like Super Wolf 1 to 2 to 3. Well, yeah, at least to 2. And you're just chasing after the car. You're jumping on. At least there's like one way you can take either a path to the left or right. And I took path to the right, and I was like jumping on cars and buses and all this crap. And then you make your way up to the top of a building. You're running across buildings. You're looking for the car. You jump, or you're running after it, and then you jump after the car. And I missed the quick time thing there where you're jumping off the building, and there's either the Crocusman's car or Georgie's car, and I don't know what matters.
I'm guessing if you get the Crooked Man's thing, you miss out the whole of Georgie's thing, so.
Which would
be
probably be, it'd probably be bad in the end. I don't know how exactly. May have to try to do something about that in the end. Or, go through it again, or watch a walkthrough or something, of somebody doing it the other way. And then, you go after, at least how it happened to me and Dan and whatnot. You hit onto Georgie's car with Vivian driving, and like you're beating the shit out of the window, door, or whatever, and then you get shaken off. You go after it again. They're in an alley. They're turned around, and then they come after you, and it's like playing chicken. And I kind of wanted to stand in the way to see what happened. But it probably went you getting hit and dying or something. So I didn't do that. But yeah, you jump up the building. They make it back to the pudding and pie. You go into the pudding and pie. And that's the end of like the whole crazy quick time stuff going on. And it was intense, insane, awesome. I loved it. And I'll let Dan take the next part whenever you go in.
Yeah, so yeah, it turns out Georgie goes back to his club because he's an idiot. Handily, there's some clothes just like Big V's hanging up just before you get in. So you pop them on, and you get to the outside where you can, so you can have a look at the car and look at the blood around, and there's a load of stuff you can find there. Don't worry, Georgie's not going anyway. But once you go in, you got the chance to eavesdrop and listen into the conversation, which I did, and it turns out, him and Vivian seem to be fairly close. But when you get in, it turns out he isn't just hurt; he's on the verge of death.
You stabbed him pretty good.
Yeah, his guts
Which is
are spilling
weird for,
out.
Like a fable, everyone else can heal. Why can't Georgie?
Because he's a bit of a puss, isn't he?
Sure.
When the boys came out to play, Georgie Porgy ran away.
Except in this instance, he got stabbed before he got to run away.
Yeah. I took it kind of easy because he's obviously quite ill.
Yeah.
But Vivian's trying to defend Georgie, and it turns out that she's got something to do with all of this, and she's got a ribbon too. What's going on? And it turns out Faith and the other victims were trying to figure out a way to escape, and
you kind of
Georgie,
find out Vivian is behind, like, the reason that everyone
which
is.
We'll come to in a sec. But Georgie admits that the crooked man gave him the order to take care of the problem, and obviously he knew what he meant by take care. And if you keep pushing, Georgie finally reveals why she's involved. She's the original with the ribbon, and with her ribbon, all the others were created to force discretional death. And she went along with the plan openly. Turns out the only way to free Nerissa is to remove the ribbon. But it doesn't matter how you go about this, because it turns out Vivian's tired of being controlled by Georgie, by Big B and the crooked man, and she pulls off her own ribbon, and
you
her
find
head
out
falls
that,
off.
Yeah, you find out taking off a ribbon basically severs a head.
Yeah,
and,
very similarly to the other heads that we've found recently.
Yeah.
And
it's she says, Georgie says, you take off the ribbon, what happened to the other girls happens to her.
Yeah.
And, you find out that it does happen. But I guess you can take, I didn't do it, I almost did, but, you can remove the ribbon yourself, which is probably a good thing I didn't in the end. But you find out, she dies from it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's another witness that is no longer alive.
Mm-hmm.
But the spell's removed, and all the other girls with the ribbons on are fine. But Georgie, he's not looking so great now. His guts are spilling out, and he finally reveals that the crooked man retreated to an old foundry by the river. So now you know where to go and get him. He's not too good, and he asks if you could end it for him. And you get the choice of killing him or leaving him to a slow, painful death.
And what'd you do?
Well, I killed him. It wasn't as quick as one would imagine. You basically shove your hand and claws up inside him, and he's very noisy about it, and then he dies.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I allowed him to die because I didn't want to kill him. Even though technically you kill him anyway because you're the one that stabbed him. But it's funny because he says,
Exactly.
I won't be a murderer. And, well, you are anyway.
Yeah.
But I felt like, I shouldn't kill him.
Yeah, I was
twice.
just like, I won't be a pussy.
Yeah, man, sticking your hand in. Could you do something else to kill him? Let me just rip your guts out a little bit more.
Tear his head off, that'll be.
Yeah, for all the other girls. Oh, God. But after the whole kind of thing with Georgie goes off, you make your way to the creepiest area around, which is Shepherd Metalworks, where Georgie tells you that the Crooked Man is at. And it's kind of basically a trap.
Did you check out the limo?
Yes.
Yeah, the engine's still warm. He's still there.
The limo's still there, so I'm sure it's probably still there anyway. But you go in, and you kind of hear Bloody Mary being a bitch, and talking to you and stuff from a distance, and you can't see her. You don't know where she is. Kind of walking around, you see a board with like pictures of you and Snow White and shit, and I don't know what all that means. And then maybe they're watching you, I don't know. And then you go a little bit further, there's a wheel with some blood around it and chains on it. So whatever.
There's a smaller office as well where they've been manufacturing silver bullets.
Oh yes,
so,
that's
they're
right
obviously coming for
area.
you. Yeah.
They are preparing for you at least. Yeah, all that, and then you're kind of going through this area, and you kind of see Bloody Mary for who she is. And Jesus Christ, she is scary and creepy.
Yeah, she turns up behind you and taunts you. Don't choose to hit her, because then you miss a book entry.
Damn it, I went out. Yeah, that's right, yeah, you kind of see the Crooked Man and her, and they, talking and whatnot, and he basically tells Bloody Mary to take care of it and meet him whenever she's done. And Crooked Man walks away, and you have a choice to either hit her, what was it? You can hit her, say, hey, something like, I'm talking to you, and then, like, something else. And I went to hit her because, well, she's fast and crazy and shit. And I found she's still fast and crazy because she dodges and is like, trying to hit me while my back's turned. Yeah, now what, bitch?
Yeah.
She knocks you on the ground. She probably knocks you on the ground anyway.
This is quite a big fight, isn't it?
Oh my god, this fight is insane. But yeah, she goes in like crazy, like, her transformed evil self, and she makes like a freaking million of herself. And you just, well, actually, the first part is you're going through this kind of enclosed area with boxes. You're like kind of just fitting through here, and then you get this quick time event where she runs at you, but you have literally like half a second to respond. And I got hit because there's no way I was making that. And then like it happens a few more times, and like I got more and more used to it, and I was getting more careful. And then you kind of end up in the middle of this floor, and like there's just tons and tons of her coming around. And then you turn Super Wolf 4. And
it's like a 9-foot tall wolf. It's huge.
He's gigantic. And after you're like right before this, he's getting attacked. He's trying to fend her off and everything. And the more and more Bigby gets hurt, basically, like the more and more transformed and more like the wolf he becomes, basically. And man, this fight, you're like, it's all that point and click mouse, trying to attack and fend off Bloody Mary. And once you turn into the wolf, like, you're tearing these bitches apart, and they're shattering like glass. And one thing with her is like she has glass sticking out of places everywhere.
Yeah.
And at one point, you like whenever you get the last part of this, like after you're doing all this, you basically do the big bad wolf from the call-in section, and you huff and you puff and you blow all of them up. Basically, they're all hitting off walls and whatnot, and just shattering.
Smashing, and apart from one of them,
which is the real original Bloody Mary, and she jumps up off this thing. Well, first she tears a piece of glass out of her head and jumps at you. Do you catch her in your mouth?
You jump up and attack her, and catch her in her mouth, and she managed to slice your jaw with the piece of the glass.
I thought she didn't get to. I don't know if I did it fast enough and she didn't get anything. But she like almost got to me with the glass, and I like basically bit her in half, and she shatters and she's gone. But man, that was insane.
It was so much fun.
It really was crazy.
The whole episode was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It's not over yet.
I know. And then you go up and you see Crooked Man's watching you through like a box office kind of thing in a factory.
He's got one of those posters with days accident free, and it's got a zero.
I wonder if he just did that. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, did he just put that up because it killed it? But yeah, I'll let you take it from here, Dan.
Okay, well, you end up having a chat with the Crooked Man, and it boils down to basically one decision: bring him in or kill him there and then.
I wish somebody would have killed him right there, so I would know like what happens after, because we didn't.
Well, apparently, if you kill him, you take his body, and you've got to defend your actions in front of the crowd, and yeah. But I promised Snow that I was going to bring him in, and I wasn't going to harm anyone else. So yeah, I brought him in.
Yeah, I did the good way. One thing I want to know, whenever you're going to bring him in or whatever, there's that first part where he has the gun pointed at you.
Yeah.
Do you try to take the gun there? Or did you wait long enough for him to talk and then he kind of skips it?
Oh no, I tried it the first time and he shoots and misses and he says, even at this range I'll get you with the next shot. And then the second time I had a chance, he just whipped the gun out of his hand. He's like, oh.
Yeah, I waited the first time. I was listening to him talk and everything goes away. And then I did it the second time and knocked it out. I thought, I'm close enough, and I guess, I don't know. I just figured, okay, we'll see what happens here. And I guess I didn't get it. And I guess it doesn't matter the first time either, but yeah, that was interesting.
But yeah, when you, if you kill him or take him to the trial, everything you've said or done is called into question in front of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And everything changes based on your decisions. So when you're talking, you go back to where the well is that they chuck criminals in to kill them.
Yeah, at Fables, I believe, because they throw Lily's body down at the...
Yeah. So yeah, one side demands justice, and the other side of the other group of them are begging for mercy and transparency. You can play to either side of the crowd, but don't try to play both, because you'll lose them both, and the Crooked Man can then go free.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I kind of thought that could happen. I wonder what happens at the end of that one.
I have no idea. But yeah, if you bring him in alive, like Gary and I did, Snow congratulates you, and the crowd starts calling for punishment. Everything's looking good. But yeah, that silver tongue comes out, and Snow accuses the Crooked Man of murder. He explains that Georgie was behind it. I defended my position. Don't try to hide what happened to Georgie. I said I killed him. And they weren't too good about that. But yeah, there's a load of stuff going on. I got the Crooked Man to speak. And he goes on about how he had nothing to do with the murders.
Now, there is a part with this where the Crooked Man tries to interrupt Snow White, and you basically tell him, you can either, say, like, shut up, let her finish, or, just let it be as it is. Did you, let Snow finish?
Oh, yeah, of course, because, even though it's towards the end, I'm still hoping that maybe, if there's a sequel, we can get a little summon.
See, I don't know what they'd do with a sequel for this. Possibly. But then after that, there's the whole Crooked Man's trying to speak, and everyone's trying to interrupt him and everything. Now, did you tell everyone to shut up and let him speak?
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I. I wonder what Ryan did. I should have asked him about that. But
and
go ahead.
he ends up defending himself using Auntie Greenleaf, saying how he did cheap glamours and things like that,
and he's the one that got her tree for her.
Yeah, and if you choose not to burn down her tree back in episode 3 or 4, she'll help you out.
Yeah.
If you did burn down the tree, she's not going to help.
All the choices that you made throughout the game are basically all brought back here.
Yeah.
Like, this is the end-all be-all of your choices. Like, in The Walking Dead, it was more kind of throughout it, but this is basically, like, the end is where they really brought all your choices in. But yeah, like,
you then defend Snow, and this town starts joining her side, but he flips it again, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just keeps going at it, and then...
because he's like, well, I can't be responsible for Georgie, and if I am, then Snow must be responsible for Bigby's actions. And this is where everything you've done that's bad kind of comes out.
And I'm kind of glad I played it good.
Yeah. And he starts arguing that he's the only one that defended Fabletown from the fools in the business office. And
basically the crooked police kind of thing.
Yeah. And then someone turns up, doesn't she, Gary?
Yeah, which, like, I was very surprised. I didn't expect it to happen, but yeah, Narissa shows up and, well, because Vivian killed herself and everything, all the girls are now free to stay as they want to. And yeah, she kind of like, she says her and, like 5 other girls were there at whenever he was saying, like, you have to, kill, or telling Georgie, he has to kill whatever, blah, 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 blah. And, yeah, I was like, man, I thought I was going to lose everyone for a second. She just basically saved it, and you got everyone on your side, and yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that's like enough for everyone, and they try to figure out what to do with him. And lo and behold, you end up having to choose the punishment.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because, like, Snow is not deputy mayor, but she took on the role until she's said to be it.
Yeah.
It's just funny. It's like, yeah, let Bigby choose. Okay.
It's like, oh, great. So, yeah, you've got 3 choices, haven't you? There's,
well, 4, kind of.
Well, yeah, I suppose 4. Old Greenleaf comes up with a way that you can cage him for the rest of his life, so he doesn't have to die.
Keep him locked up and stuff.
Yeah. You can rip his head off, which is what Ryan did.
Oh man, you should have said it. Yeah, Ryan fucking rips his head off. Like, holy shit! I was like, that's a little extreme. But it's funny because if you do that, then people are kind of afraid of you because you're basically the big bad wolf that everyone's always been afraid of.
Yep.
So yeah, you didn't change in the end. Yeah, and then you can throw him down the well. Now, I screwed up, and I missed the click, and I clicked above instead of clicking on it, and the time ran out, and he kind of goes after you, or he does something, and then you basically come to the well, and I was like, man, I should just throw him down the well. He's right there.
Yeah, I was like,
Now, did you miss it too, or did it still happen anyway?
I don't think I missed it. It just still happened.
Okay. Yeah, I missed it, and I guess the same thing still happens. But yeah, I don't know what happens when you throw him down the well. I guess just throw him down the well. People may be afraid of you, maybe not as much as if you rip their head off. Oh, man. But yeah, at least what me and Dan did is we were the good cops and took him in. And, we had him in prison. And then what happens next is kind of crazy. Because Annie Greenleaf comes out, and he's turned into a bird in a cage. And she says something about his, Silver Tongue, basically, the mouth on him or whatever. So she's like, yes, I basically gave him something that he can't talk. So she turns him into a bird, keep him or whatever. Which, man, that is a punishment. I'll let you keep going from here, Dan.
I'm trying to remember where you see Colin. Is it before or after you see Snow?
It's after the cage. It's after you see Snow, because
Okay.
Yeah, because you see Colin, and then you say someone's gonna see you or whatever. Like, you can choose a couple different things to say to him, and Colin comes up the elevator with like a 6-pack of beer, heading to your apartment again.
And I swear he was limping.
Yeah, no, I guess we'll kind of get into this. Dan kind of thinks that which is it kind of makes sense, because Anna Greenleaf, Crooked Man got the tree for her and everything, so she could be kind of on his side, and Dan thinks that Colin was actually Crooked Man and the bird was Colin.
Yeah, I think she could have turned Colin into the Crow and then the Crooked Man into Colin.
I think it's just a little bit complex, but I don't know, maybe.
Ready to, spring him out at a later date.
Which would warrant, I guess, a second season if that happened, and I'm like, I don't know, it could happen, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just saying, I swear he was limping. Anyway, you also see Flycatcher, and he asks if you're going to make a visit downstairs to see off the fables that are going for the farm. But Bigby wants to check the office first.
With him to take the Crooked Man to the farm too? Okay.
Yeah. Outside the long line, outside the office, Snow steps out, and you can have a quick chat with her.
And she's kind of busy because there's a lot of people there.
And if you click "Can we talk?", you get another entry in the Book of Fables.
Damn it.
But she's just too busy to talk, so she hurries off to work. And Bigby goes off to see the leaving fables.
Yeah, I let Snow go because she looked like she was a little busy. Oh, and the thing with Snow, apparently if you rip Crooked Man's head off, she tries not to make eye contact with you. So, and I guess that's another reason why I don't think there could be a second season, because if you rip his head off, well, there's... By the Wolf Among Us,
he could be glamoured.
What do you mean?
It could be someone else that's got a glamour of the Crooked Man, and you could have ripped someone else's head off.
That would be even more insane. God damn it, Dan. I seriously doubt it.
Anyway, you go outside, and I don't know about you, but I never managed to convince Snow, so Toad and his son get shipped off to the farm.
Which apparently Ryan actually got to give them the money that I wanted to give them for the...
And he still went off to the farm anyway.
Yeah. And then Mr. Toad asked you about Colin, or have you seen Colin or something like that, or where's Colin, I don't know. And I said, I don't know where he's at. Even though he just saw him.
And I said the other one, which is like, I don't know, must be lost. And he's like, yeah, right.
Yeah, and then TJ comes up to you, and actually in the second episode, is that whatever you... No. Man, I can't remember now. First, second... Oh, I'm trying to remember. Whenever you go to Frog's place, and where I said I got a little bit physical with Toad. When Snow's in a room with TJ, she's talking about his little bug collections and stuff, and TJ wants you, because there's not enough time, to give this one bug that Snow said was pretty or whatever. He wants you to give it to her, and you have choice of saying, yeah, I'll give it to her, I'm busy, and something else. And I decided to give it to her. I don't know who wouldn't.
Yeah, it's like, no, fuck off, I'm busy. It's like, poor little kid.
Yeah.
And you try to cheer him up and tell him about the lakes at the farm and how there's he
You
can
can
go
swim
swimming.
during the day.
Yeah, and he's like, really? Oh, and he cheers him up a little bit, but not a huge amount. I mean, he's going to the farm. I mean, that just sounds like somewhere where they kill Fable, doesn't it? Like when you were young and your pet died, and it's like, oh, we've sent him off to a farm. He's playing around with all the other rabbits or dogs or cats.
No wonder Colin keeps running away because they killed the other little pigs. Oh, man. Oh, shit. But yeah, after that, you go and you see Narissa across the road. And it's raining, and you go across, you're on this awning, and you kind of talk to her and talk about stuff. She's like, you get a couple choices you can say, and I said, like, I hope what I did was good, because, she's trying to say, you still were good or whatever. Or, you did help out this town and stuff. So, after is it right after she starts to walk away, or right before she starts to walk away?
As she's leaving,
yeah,
she says, yeah.
There's a bunch of different, voices basically going through your head of, conversations that went
deja
on.
vu kind of thing.
And you can either go after her in the end, or you can let her go. I let her go. Dan went after her. Apparently it doesn't matter, because you still get the same dialogue where more voices go through your head, and then it ends. Now, this is another thing I want to bring up, of where Dan said it could be Faith glamored or something like that.
Yeah, because the first time you meet Faith, you get this kind of deja vu feeling. He's like, I reckon I'm trying to place you or whatever. And it's just the same as when you meet at the final meeting with Narissa. And it's kind of, well, what does this mean? Is Faith really alive in disguise as Narissa? I mean, anyone can be glamoured, including dead bodies, as we've seen. Was the Crooked Man telling the truth all along, and that he never ordered the murders?
Oh, that's another thing that happened, is Narissa actually lied about other girls. It was just her, Faith, and Lily that were there. And then she said, they
had a plan to escape, and then they found Crane's involvement, and she told Georgie because she thought he'd be able to, sort it all out.
Because she was afraid that the Crooked Man was going to find out or something like that, and she was hoping to help them, but in the end, Georgie was trying to be nice and say, I'll see what I can do, and then find out that Georgie has to kill him anyway. So yeah, everything kind of starts to come around in the end. You're just like, holy shit, all this stuff you've been wondering about has just come up, and it's crazy. I don't think it's Faith.
but her story doesn't add up, and it turns out Georgie told her about what had happened, not the Crooked Man like she claimed, and so it's
Oh, and what did you choose? I just said what's done is done, or you did the right thing or something.
And apparently, Narissa, not only all of that, she took Faith's head to the building where it would be seen to get the whole thing started up. So she's kind of
she's the one that basically put everything in motion.
Yeah. I can't remember what I said. I know it wasn't that long ago.
I know, it was only 2 days ago.
But it's 4 a.m, and I've got a blinder behind the eyes.
Yeah, but I was I said, what's done is done. I'm not going to bring it up anymore. And that's kind of why I didn't go after her in the end, but apparently it doesn't matter.
Absolutely brilliant game. I'm going to have another playthrough.
Yeah, it was very, very good. And, now, I remember you saying stuff about, this is better than Walking Dead Season 1 by far, and then you kind of changed your mind. Did you go back on it at the end of this?
I don't know. I mean, the first episode, I was like, this is brilliant, absolutely fantastic. But
I think once I got the episode, 1, 2, and maybe 3 were like crazy, insane, awesome, and then 4 just kind of killed it for me because
Yeah, I don't think 2 was that great. And they all got a lot shorter after the first one.
yeah, I guess the second one wasn't that. I'm trying to remember what happened at the end of the second one now. Well, no, you did find out Crane, like, Crane's involvement, and I went like, holy
Well, yeah.
shit. So that, that got me crazy insane for the next one. And then the third one, got a little bit less, and the fourth one was, I thought, like, just meh. It didn't have me, like, all excited like the other ones did. And then the fifth one just, like, brought it all back around. But I think comparing it to Walking Dead Season 1, like, there's the end of The Walking Dead was just insane. And you might want to skip, like, 15 seconds if you haven't played through The Walking Dead Season 1. But, like, the choice to either kill Lee or, leave him and all this stuff was so crazy and emotional. I think it's because, you had to play a little girl. Choosing it in the end was just like, you didn't know what, you just, wow, like, this little girl has to make the decision, which is really you, but, you're like, you just put yourself in the role of this girl, and you're like, wow. It's hard to compare them that way, but, like, I don't know, the last episode was a lot better in ways where, like, it was just insanely crazy, all this action and stuff happening. So, like, they have their very strong points. I guess story-wise, I think The Wolf Among Us probably beats story-wise in the end. Because a lot of stuff comes around more so in ways than The Walking Dead did, because you got the whole, like, guy at the end of that you finally made, and that one point basically in The Walking Dead kind of brings everything back to focus, and then The Wolf Among Us, like, all your choices throughout are kind of brought back in the end, instead of like one major decision that you had to make in the Walking Dead. So, like, it's hard to put them both together and say, which one's better, just because they're, two of the most recent things from Telltale and everything. But, like, I think they're both amazing games, and, I love both of them completely in the end.
Yeah, I feel, I don't know, I've just started reading the comics for Fables, and I'm really, really enjoying them, but it feels like I don't know, it just feels a little bit more fleshed out, maybe. I don't know, it's a tough call.
Yeah, like, the characters were very, very, I guess you're not in a zombie apocalypse, so,
well, yeah.
There's a lot more kind of, character development and stuff you can kind of get into with it. And, showing all these different characters. You can have more characters in this than you could really The Walking Dead. I mean, you could bring a lot into it, but then, you'd have to kill off a lot more in it.
But yeah, it did feel a bit more rounded, I guess. The characters, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But
great game.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it for our spoiler show, and we hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sure we'll have more with other games that we'll be playing through. Walking Dead's gonna be the next one, I'm sure, because that's got 2 episodes, and the next one comes out this month, right, Dan? In a week or two? Probably
yeah,
2 weeks.
They're gonna be saying more stuff. Telltale going to be saying more stuff about it next week, so it's probably going to be a couple of weeks. So, really looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll be doing another one, and be sure to check them out. Be sure to check out the regular podcast. Weekly. We do it on Sundays. It's up on Mondays, and if you like listening to us, let us know some more over there, because this is going to go up on Saturday the 12th, and regular podcast is going to go up on the 14th. So look forward to more content if you enjoyed this.
Yeah.
And, well, this is us. So on behalf of Hardlydan, I am Amras, we are the Gamesmen, and until next time, we ask,
What role will you play?